Good morning, everyone. All right, so excuse me, we got the three down days in a while that we were looking for, and there was a greater than 100% retracement. This is a concept we've used for many, many years, and I guess over the recent years, the algorithms have figured it out on multiple time frames, primarily the shorter time frames. And like I said, we've used this for many years, and the concept is that after a greater than 100% retracement, prices tend to stabilize. Now, it depends on how they come down there, and this came down there perfectly. And how it happened because it was up at the high down here, and it just waterfalled down to break the pivot low, um, which was what we refer to as major support. So this was major support. We covered this in coaching session last night. I'll drop that in the green room in a little while. Um, and this was major support. Now it didn't close below this one, but it pushed down through it and in a waterfall or fluid movement. And so when that happens, historically, you get a bounce. So this prepared us for that to occur. And then, of course, you have to wait for some stabilization on a smaller time frame. Um, if you're going to trade it from a smaller time frame, from the daily time frame, you're really not doing anything unless you're willing to start averaging in with smaller positions and saying, all right, it's going to stabilize after that. Now, clearly, this violates this minor uptrend that was going on here, and the way this came down at a minimum suggests a trading range for a while, if not lower prices to possibly down here. And when we look at spiders and SPX, there's unfilled gaps, and that's a likely downside target. But we shall see how this occurs. Um, the 65-minute is in a sideways trend at this point, meaning it hasn't violated. This was a great discussion in the coaching session last night on trends and trend changes and retracements. We covered a lot of stuff. So this is not an uptrend, clearly, this part here, but on a smaller time frame. Right? We discussed how on a smaller time frame, something could be in an uptrend, but still not get above major resistance where it's going to run into trouble. And our discussion was after the deep retracement in a situation like this, while this could come down and retest the low, if it's truly buyers taking control, it'll go sideways here and then it'll push higher. So that'll be something to watch for today. Whereas we could get some kind of inside trading day, the stabilization here. And of course, everyone will be waiting for tomorrow's news on inflation. So it's likely, just based on that big news coming out, it's likely that would see some chopping around here, waiting for that, and we'll see where we go from there, of course. Um, but it's up at a major resistance area on the 65-minute. So it's not the time to be going long and not necessarily the time to be going short. We just need to see how things evolve on smaller time frames, but you can see how sellers are taking control over here at that resistance area. Um, you know, and we'll just see how this unfolds from here. Um, and we saw this concept of greater than percent retracement happen in multiple time frames, um, but it didn't break the low on the Nasdaq futures. Right? So it's interesting to see how different markets react. This came down quite violently, like other things. Wider bars on the second day and a wide bar yesterday, and it held this area. Sometimes one market holds because another market holds, and things tend to move together at times, and you got the same little advance here. However, we could say that on the daily chart, it showed relative strength to the S&Ps since it didn't break the low. However, and we covered this last night, this is stalled at minor resistance where the S&Ps came up to major resistance. So a little bit of relative strength on the daily, but relative weakness intraday. Okay? Something else I was looking for yesterday that didn't materialize when things stabilized, and this may be a key to, well, this retesting the low, something to watch for today. But NVIDIA earnings coming out tonight is probably everybody's going to take a wait and see approach, right? Um, the semiconductors didn't move down to these pivot lows yesterday. So they started to show some relative strength. They're gapping up this morning, a pretty decent amount into that red bar. It's not changing anything as far as this big waterfall decline, but it's a good start to the day. It's gapping above some resistance on the 65-minute. So maybe these semiconductors will be in play today ahead of NVIDIA's earnings. Russell, greater than 100% retracement. Now, it didn't move very much, but again, the concept applies to anything you're going to trade. And so as it broke down, we got, the stabilization and, it stabilized there. It's, that's what the concept guides you as to stabilization, not a trend change. And it's stabilized. And so it's at resistance and it's just, hopping back and forth here for now. The Dow, and I think this is related to it's on the current contract. I was trying to think it's because of on the continuous contract. This is really weird. This price movement to see this gap. Something I think is wrong there. I'm not sure. Anyway, we see the Dow futures just bobbing back and forth in a trading range. It's at this resistance area. So far, it's going sideways. And yesterday's conversation, um, Alex asked me, which one do you think would be better as far as downside? And I agree. I thought, well, the diamonds. He asked me about the diamonds. I thought, okay, if it was going to drop, and it's done nothing. So things don't always work out as anticipated. But as I look at this and this retracement, if the market is going to have some kind of upward movement, if it can clear this resistance, it's got some room to move up. So that we'll see, as we always do, how things unfold. Gold is taking a little bit of a rest here and just chopping sideways. Looks like it's going to come down here and test this, still in an uptrend. Silver taking a little bit more of a hit, but it's just been erratic for a while. So it's just a stay away. Interesting. Right? Crude oil is broken down here, was holding for a little while. Um, you know, retested the pivot, and it breaks and it's holding at that next pivot level there for now. And we'll see if this continues to move down. It's certainly got pluses and minuses as to its implications. But we'll see if it holds here. The next level isn't that far away. It'll be interesting to see what it does at that level. Bitcoin is down a bit this morning and breaking below a significant support level here. Now, you could say, Greg, is this a greater than 100% retracement? I would say yes, but we've got a 2+ month consolidation and it's breaking down into what we call a void. There's an unfilled gap down here. So Bitcoin looks like it's going to go lower. Intraday, it's holding this support level for now. But a momentum move and a correction through time, bullish move up, based on that, we'd expect, okay, it's consolidating and going to break out and go higher. But it didn't do that. It went sideways and it broke down. So unless, and this is something we didn't really touch on it in detail last night, but maybe the next one is creating support. So right now, this chart says it's going to go down, fill this gap, but could it create support? We've talked about that concept pre-market, but um, we'll see how this unfolds. Right now, it looks like it's going lower. And with that in mind, look at stocks and ETFs related to this for a bias that are going to go lower and use it. All right, interest rates. Breaking down. Here's the 10-year breaking down. It was wild. You remember this? We talked about the Head and Shoulders top. It broke down under the pivots, and then it whipped back up and took out that swing high, and now it whipped back down again. So we've got oil going down. I touched on this Monday, oil going down, interest rates going down, inflation worries with tariffs. So is it going to be recession or stagflation? We'll just have to see, you know. But with interest rates moving lower like this, and can look at, this was starting, the 13-week was starting to pop up, and now it's pushed back down again. It's still in a trading range. So as far as the Fed and what they're going to do, this communicates that there's a new level of confusion coming in as far as what the Fed is going to do based on what's going on in the world and, what Trump is doing and oil and interest rates and so on and so forth. So um, time will tell. This is the 5-year also breaking down. So again, some pluses and some minuses as to the implications of that. And Jack is saying, or lack of unrestrained government spending taking pressure off prices. Yes, yes, yeah. It's one of the most interesting times in government and the world and you know Israel, Ukraine, Russia, Trump. I mean, this is going to be something for the history books, like everything is, but this will be much more interesting. Yeah, 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 yeah. So saying IWM was going down with the 10-year Monday and sometime yesterday. Yeah, it's of course small caps are affected by interest rates a little bit more. But interest rates are a big part of what moves the markets. And so generally you say, okay, interest rates are going up. There's a greater demand for money. People are willing to pay higher interest rates for that money, whereas interest rates are going down. There's less a demand for money and implies a slower economy, and at times recession. And there are times with points where lower interest rates are good for equities, and at times they're not so good, depending on how they're trending and where they're at, relative support and resistance. And so higher interest rates, again, could be good or bad, because if they're moving up and the economy is doing well and there's demand for money, well, then that's good for the stock market until they get too high. The thing is to be able to, figure out the balancing act as to where, high is too high and low is too low. All right. Um, SPY gapping up here. It's coming off of the low. Um, And so here you see the same greater than 100% retracement. And here it is on the 15-minute chart. And this is where we were looking yesterday as this began to turn down here. And we got that nice little hook pattern right there for the long. And it happened on the Qs as well. And it had that bottoming tail bar. So here it broke the low. It took out the stops. And for those that had tight stops, of course, it took out the stops. and it then took out the pivot high. And then you got this little hook and that little shakeout down there. Great setup. It's like textbook. Doesn't get much better than that for a counter trend move with multiple time frames aligned. So now things are coming off a little bit. There's still it's a little while to go, but look, odds are we're going to get bouncing back and forth in here today. That's what my perception is based on what's going on. I'll just look at the transports quick. They're on support so far. They held, but some of the ETFs broke down below. There's more stocks in those ETFs that supposed to mimic the transports. All right, SPX, nothing got touched yesterday. We said down here was the no-brainer. We even picked off a point intraday based on it coming down here in the green room. And so let's see where things are at today. Interesting. It's always interesting. 75. It's actually lower than yesterday. So still nervous. That's a good thing. Still thinking, a little nervousness that it could still go down there today. Unless some news comes out, which, look, NVIDIA news, economic news tomorrow. I don't think anybody's going to be too aggressive unless some other shoe drops that it's going to go down there today. That's not enough. 60-30. This came down. Come up there. It's right around here based on SPY. Again, like most days, knew the strike gets hit. This one has an unfilled gap down there. So it's got to get through yesterday's low. There's an unfilled gap. The downside, I believe, is the no-brainer. All yours, Dan. Is it me? I don't hear Dan. Good morning, Alex.
Yeah, no, it was muted on the other computer. So yeah. All right. Yeah, I was saying, despite the markets as you just described, there's a lot of interesting things there. Let me go over my hit list here. The only alarm I have going off is PLD. So that's on my hit list over the high. Ascending triangle. Bullish weekly monthly. Amazon, I just mentioned, put spread, said G, put spread. Not a bad directional either. I just wish it had a bottoming tail to give me more comfort for put spread, but nice ascending triangle on the 15-minute here also. NET, came back to earth over prior bars high, put spread and directional. Meta, it's not a CLIMO, but it's a buy setup with a deep retracement at the 50. So that's good. Twilio, we now have a retest. That was today, Wednesday. Oh, MT Live Day. We're going to be talking about bar by bar analysis. So over Monday's high, put spread and directional. So these are all tier ones ready to go as posted. D Delta 1, 2, 3. PLD I talked about, LEU. Same buy setup at the 50, deep retracement over prior bars high. Phase C, 1, 2, 3. So look, I just gave you a ton of tier one setups right there. And yeah, we got a monster open game in Mister, and with a stop over this 15-minute pivot, and we're in trail mode. Look at that, 253. We're just in trail mode over prior bar side. So wow, we got in at spot 17. So we got like an $85 open game right now. Yeah, GoDaddy we did yesterday. Beautiful Climo. We did, what's the other one? We did another Climo. Where are you? Deck. We did Deck. Now see, this one we only did for this Friday. I do not trust this one. See, GoDaddy was keener, so that one we went out to next week. Carvana's on my list here. That's sloppy. Let me go right to earnings. I already deleted a bunch. Deleted a bunch already, so if I don't cover it, kaping. Now then, this was the only one I tried selling a put spread, the 22-21 yesterday, but I did not get filled, unfortunately. So that I like on a pullback. We get a little control pullback here, and I'm going to put that in the bottom right. AMC, remember the movie theater? 30-minute high could be the possible start of a bottoming pattern. Z Zulu, maybe put spread, little retest pattern, 30-minute high, put spread. All right, cart's getting whacked. I don't have a bias though, but possible excessive gap. Let's put it in a window, see what it does. Kava, this is Flyman's favorite stock. Let's 30-minute high, put spread idea on this. I'll put that in a window. Caesar's Palace. Potential bottoming pattern, but no hurry. 30-minute high, put spread to start. Lemonade, that's a nasty gap. I see that one. It's a big gap, but it's in the middle of no man's land. So I said this a couple times yesterday with big ugly gaps. When they're middle of no man's land, I want them to keep accelerating. Pain, 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 pain. Make, I don't know, lower the better. Maybe to 22. I don't know. But keep an eye on that. Workday 280. I mean, put spread, but good luck hitting any premium so far away. Our seed no pattern Fizzler. That's bullish gap up in a downtrend. Now there's not many good solar stocks. But let's keep an eye on TAN. TAN, I always call it the A/B test, comparing two related things. This is superior to Fizzler. Why? Well, because it blasted breakout, and now it's a pullback and reversal with the converging MAs. So this could be a 30-minute high, and if somebody wants to, off memory, I know CSIQ is in there. That ain't bad either. So yeah, I should have more solars memorized, but there's only like 5 of them that are good trading. 605. Yes. Segji, that's right. He's solar too. I forgot. Yeah, yeah. So I said, yeah, I gave a put spread, but yeah. All right, Intuit is a pro gap. Nasty downtrend. Big old bullish gap up here, 30-minute high, quick spread. YW, look at the percentage down that is. That is a nasty, nasty gap. I'm gonna put that in a window, possible exhaustion. Bitcoin continues weaker now 85.5, dragging on Mr. down with it. All right, fly W out, no pattern. Go, another whackage. Keys, no pattern, but 30-minute high maybe. Alex, ADP alarm. I've been watching this for a while. It's sloppy overlapping bars, but alarm just went off. Said G alarm just went off. You're up at said G here, because I'm not going to chase into it. All right, Sterl. Put spread idea. Looks good. Axon 584. Wow, that was a climb, but gap's too big. EXR, that's a REIT. Maybe that's what's helping our PLD. This is gapping up. Churd 112, no pattern. Actually, if it gives it up, this is still bearish. Daily, weekly, monthly. Although bullish gap, but I got enough to get that. This is one I said if it opened flat, short of five, short under all, but that's base right here. I can't tell where it's opening. Buy setup, but it's following a Climo. So, what's your name? Don. You know how we're always talking about anticipating M bottoms and tops? This is one to not anticipate, I mean, watch to see if it sets up. Big old momentum move, far from the 20. First pullback, and you watch the next bounce and reversal. And then you got yourself on top. ODD, put spread if there's any juice. 20, this is just steady, nasty selling. There's no reversal on Sprout Social. Alarm. Alarm. This is on Sam's list as a continuation short. Matex gapped up, but we'll come back to it. Wow, LAU alarm. I had a. Why did my LAU alarm go? I must have had a down alarm. Let me reset it. Down alarm. I'm going to put 87. So, we're starting out a little weak here. I heard a bell. I got filled on something. Bill. Oh, I had a pre-market order out on some fan that I got filled on. All right, said G. Said G looks good, with see his tan holding. Yeah. Yeah, 30-minute high tan is, it's anticipatory, but it's a place to enter. If this turn's gonna hold, stop week slow. Unfee alarm. Unfee alarm, buy setup and multi-bar turn. So that looks good. Unfee. Our two trades from yesterday, up alarm, deck, and GoDaddy. GoDaddy looks like a nice day trade and swing. I know Greg said he didn't like these patterns, but this is a clean Climo to me. We're in it as a put spread. No, it's clean. It's clean. It's fluid. Two bottoming tails. I don't even have to look. This pattern's telling me it's a beautiful breakout on the hourly. You got a strong 15. ALGT we're short. Like I said, I had my break even alarm go off, but nothing to do. Yeah, Greg, it's already posted. Put spread and direction. I posted it last night. There's a couple I posted when I was scanning. CYH, a low alarm. D Delta, but this is an early alarm. Early, it's not officially out. All right, I didn't finish. Oh, these are all pre-market earnings I didn't get to. Let's do this now. TJX gap and crap-ish, nothing to do. LOW, same. Bears, wow, that's a bear gap that's working on being bullied. Man, buyers sure stepped up on that gap down. A RMS, Uther gap breakdown, bearish. Hey, look at the monthly big old topping pattern. So Uther says therapeutics, but that's bearish all time frames. Apple, yeah. Greg mentioned call spread on this, and I totally forgot to look into the close. I just forgot. Um, well, I don't think I would have done it anyway. I would have said today under yesterday's low, but let me check the juice bar now. Apple, so it'd be the 250s for Friday. 52 cents. So $5 wine is 40 cents. Not bad, but you know, NVIDIA's out after the bell, and I know different sectors, but that could move all the things. All right, Kava still no turn. PLD, let's do over the high 123.27.
Can you believe that guy, Alex? Tesla should be good for intraday today. NET and LEU. They're in support. They should stabilize here.
Yeah,
On the
they're
watch
both
list, thumbnails.
both posting. CDNS. There's no turn yet to me. When they come down so hard like that. I mean, compare this one, Alex, to GoDaddy. They totally different pictures there, even though they're both Climos. All right. Cart. Mr. The stop's over 260. It's getting close to its target. See momentum slowing. I'll wait till 10 and then move it to 30-minute high. Well, I don't care about that, Alex. I'm talking about the turn. Maxwell here is stopping out. So nice trade there.
That's unlikely to make a big move up, I think, but Bitcoin's so weak. Bitcoin's bouncing a little bit here.
AC triggering 1, 2, 3. We only had a third left of Maxwell.
Think to trend discussion. You mean the day trader one? Do you mean the coaching session from yesterday? It was emailed to everyone. All right. Put it out on social media if you want to see what we do with students. All right, we got a 180 on the 5-minute spiders and cues.
Yeah, so PC looks great. I got Kaping bottom right, gave it up. A big spread on PC. I'm going to go low bid. I'm sorry, high bid 220 spot 50 is what I'm going to bid. Bid out. All right, deck GoDaddy, move stop break even on the credit spreads. Oh, the SMCI gapped against us. It should get big vol contraction. I did not know it had pending news yesterday, or I would have got us out. Cold COLD alarm. I forget what that looks like. So we still have the 70s. And so that, yeah, we got a nice profit now. So yeah, even though it's so, yeah, that's a perfect, perfect example of the option market telling you there's pending news. I don't care what anybody says differently. There is pending news. End of story. So yeah, let's
More news on this thing, Dan, coming, you think?
no, the news was last night.
Right.
But I'm saying, look how much it gapped against us, and we have a massive gain.
Okay, okay. I gotcha.
And then, you know, this will move a little bit with a Nvidia tonight. So let's just kill it, be done with it. Midpoint's 12. I thought it was going to be a headache this morning until I saw that it was a $70 strike. And then I was relieved.
Mhm.
So we did half at 23, half at 13, 20, 36 is 18.
5 minute, got almost little less than 2 minutes to go in it, but we had one big green up bar on the Qs and spiders, now a down bar. So uncertainty still.
So I just, so me hearing you say that, I just canceled my bid on Pay-C. I
But
guess,
if it takes out the highs, I mean, look, if it turns into a bear sandwich, that's a long,
no,
intraday long.
yeah, no, Pay-C still looks fantastic. Yeah, yeah, because you got a 15-minute breakout without a doubt. Q spiders,
I mean,
absolutely over the high.
there's a little over a minute to go. It could turn into a bottoming tail bar, and that would be a go-to over the high.
You're doing Dave, TNT.
Russell is the strongest. I'm going to put up my charts here if anybody wants to see them, but in social media, you'll see my charts now. Ticks are just hovering around the zero line. So
Yeah, crowd. Yeah, I like crowd. Another buy setup at the 50, deep retracement. Sure.
isn't that reporting earnings? Well, that's CRM.
3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of earnings next week. Retailers.
Man, it still has huge juice. I mean, 60. 60.